Hello and welcome back to my survival world where I'm building the tallest Minecraft base. The objective for today is reaching the build limit of 320 blocks. I'm going to do this by building all your suggestions from the previous videos. If you have any suggestions yourself, feel free to leave a comment. I will build them in the following videos. Now let's start the building. From Hungary I have the Fisherman's Bastion, or at least one tower of the Fisherman's Bastion in the capital of Budapest. From Australia I have the Perth Council House that with its flat facade fits perfectly behind the boat. From Poland I built several houses of the old town of Warsaw. From Spain I choose to build the gatehouse of Park Güell in Barcelona with its iconic tower. Terracotta is used for the walls. Directly above it I recreate an city house. In the corner I placed the Baha'i Gardens in Haifa, Israel. I couldn't build the entire gardens obviously, so I opted to recreate only the central building and then place a few trees around it. The next structure to be added is a Bavarian beer hall from the Oktoberfest. On top I placed the Rietveld Schröderhuis from Utrecht in the Netherlands. On the side we have another building from Munich. This time it's one of the towers of the Frauenkirche in the city center. On the opposite side I recreate a few stories of one central park in Sydney. In the rear building the cantilever brings sunlight to the lower floors with mirrors, but in Minecraft it does the opposite. Lastly, I make a wooden church from Norway. Now that I've built all suggestions, I can continue with a few ideas of my own. Firstly, a red sandstone building in the corner. Then we have a large medieval terran on the opposite side with colorful red roofs. Directly next to it I place some more modern houses with various roofs, mostly flat roofs because I haven't built them in a while. Then a few steampunk inspired elements, and finally another wooden house made mostly from spruce. For additional decoration I added a crane and flower pots below the various windows. The roof is made from copper and prismarine, and as you probably notice it will take a while to look right. Now that we have reached the build limit I can start doing the interior. First I have a room with a very high ceiling and I place in it a library. It's mostly made up from dark oak, but I also place a little bit of spruce and the normal oak wood to get a little bit of texture variance. Above it I built the interior of the beer hall, which you have seen from the outside, various benches and a little bit more decoration. Finally, I built a mob exhibit. One of the comments requested it, so that's basically the next area in the building. For the mob exhibit I need, however, a few mobs obviously, and some of them are found in a mansion, and since I don't have a mansion and I can't get a map from my villagers because they're in the Nether and they apparently don't give you maps with it, I decided to explore some of the world and see some of the new terror generation. And I have to say, it's far better than the previous generation, especially the rivers. Previously the rivers were pretty narrow and now it's so much better. Basically I explored 5 new maps and I also found a bastion here. There are 3 different mobs I want to get from the mansion. Firstly the evoker, that one I got. Next the vindicator that just went into the boat. Then a witch, and I also got lucky and found a 4th mob, a zombie. From the Nether I got the blaze, a wither skeleton, and also the zombie piglin. In the desert I got the desert version of the zombie. An enderman I found on the roof, I used a boat to capture it. A drowned I borrowed from my drowned farm. For the skeletons I used a trick. If you throw a sword to a skeleton, and it's a good sword, at least iron I think, they have a 10% chance of picking it up and losing their bow. It's important for later. Another trick for the skeleton is you can use powdered snow, which you can find either in snowy slope biomes or by collecting snow in a cauldron in a snow biome. And you can use that snow to turn a skeleton into the snow version of the skeleton. I forgot the proper name. But that's basically what I did here, so I wouldn't have to transport another skeleton from far away. For a pillager you can use another trick. If you sit in a boat with a pillager, it will continuously shoot arrows at you and use up the entire durability of the crossbow and finally become disarmed. Now I only have to transport all the mobs into my base. I placed a nether portal in the top floor and moved all the mobs through it to get them into the mob exhibit. First the witch, that made a few problems, but I got it. A mob that made even more problems was the evoker, because it kept spawning Vexes, which are some of the most annoying mobs in the game. They are pretty difficult to handle, at least for me. But I got the invoker through the portal as well. Now all was left was all the other mobs. They were more easy. And I did it without incident, almost. There was one more building request, however. That was a balloon, so I built a balloon roughly, I think, 150 blocks away from the tower. Now I want to show you the inside of the tower. First we have the Shulker Shell farm. It's already completely filled with Shulker boxes, and every new box will be burned in lava instantly, so it doesn't lag out the game. I've implemented this wall here because they kept shooting at me. And then we have the library. Here are some bubble elevators, those lead up, and here we could go down if we wanted to. And here we have the library itself. I have a small enchanting setup. As you can see, it could enchant up to level 30 if I had enough levels. And the rest is just decoration. There's nothing really here. I have a lot of space and not so much to put in. The next floor is completely empty. Honestly, it's not tall enough to put anything real here, so we skip it. And this is the beer hall. Basically, we have the Oktoberfest themed beer hall on the outside, and in the inside we have beer benches and tables with obviously several barrels of beer. Well, here's a balcony. And if we go up, we go into the mob exhibit. There are a few things you might ask yourself first. Why aren't these mobs moving? It's a trick. If you place berries below a carpet, then mobs cannot pathfind across it. But I can. Just the mobs that are stopped by it. And secondly, why isn't the Enderman teleporting? The Enderman cannot teleport because it stands on a half slab. I'm not sure if this is intended or a bug that will be fixed in the next update, but it's I think it's pretty consistent bug, and I don't expect them to fix that anytime soon. Here we have another balcony. Here we can see the balloon that I've built. And if we go here, we have another large window. This is also a great way to enter the tower with an elytra. That's now the top floor, the empty floor, and this is the next project. Let's start. because there's one mob I haven't captured yet, and that's the Wither, so I built a quick Wither cage with a golem to draw the Wither's attention. Okay, lastly I have to place the Wither, and I hope everything goes right. Shouldn't really look at me, it should look at the golem. It seems to be working. I hope it works. If it doesn't work, I have a minor problem. So I also added this part, which is a Wither Rose farm based on chickens. Basically it throws the eggs down there, and if a chicken spawns it would get hurt by the Wither Skull, and Wither Roses could, yes, they should end up here. But that's working as well. Now lastly I have to actually place a chicken in there. We'll use a few more eggs. Four should be enough. I don't want to cause too much lag, and I also currently don't have any use for Wither Roses apart from decoration, so I don't need many. It's more for the sake of completion, to have as many farms as possible in the tower. For today, this is all. I've reached the maximum build height. Since 1.18, that height can however be changed with a data pack. That's what I'm going to do in the next episode. Have a beautiful day, and goodbye!